There we are. Hey, good morning. Welcome, everybody. Or good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm working on getting the stream up on Substack so I can see it. Welcome to our poetry recap of the week. Just wanted to jump on and come read my poems from the week. Please let me know if you can hear me in the Substack chat. I'm still waiting on my feed to catch up here. Sorry, I'm running multiple windows at once, so I may be behind on my Substack feed. Oh, thanks everyone. Glad to know you're hearing me, and welcome to the Sick of This Show poetry recap of the week. Wanted to go through all the poems from this week, get them in a little bit of order, and give you all a chance to hear them and refresh and relax down from some of the nonsense that's gone on. So hopefully y'all enjoyed today's poetry recap. I'm going to start with the civic haikus. This week we have 5 of them. 5 of this week's poems were haikus and are all related to our civics and building out civic understanding and hopefully having a little bit more knowledge for each of us to be armed with as we go into our future and as we face the present, because there's a lot we're working on and a lot we're growing from. So I hope you all enjoy. This first one is called Standing. So I'm going to take a moment break between the saying their names or starting to say their names and then saying their names and reading. It's not so much for y'all on this one, unfortunately, but it's for the post recording so I can get some good samples afterwards. So I hope you all enjoy. Standing. Use rage to action. Standing to spear hate and lies. Acts let service bloom. That was a civic haiku number 5, Standing. Next, we're going to get into our 6th haiku. And so here we go. Plant seeds. Service is giving. Acres of soil tilled with care. Plant seeds which give back. That was Plant Seeds, civic haiku number 6. Next is Out of Many. Out of many. Out of many, one. Waves of million grow with care. Each grain feeds the whole. So I'm going to pause on this one for a second before we go on to the next. Out of many is our civil haiku or civic haiku about our original national motto, which is E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. And in our founders' envisionment, this was out of many peoples comes one great nation, comes one great place under a democracy, because democracy is communal. Out of many voices, we come to one decision. We've gotten away from that fundamental piece of our civic understanding and what our democracy is, because we changed our national motto from E pluribus unum to under God, or in God we trust, which was from the Red Scare and was the beginnings of the seeds of this Christian nationalism. It all came from the fear of Russia and the need for nationalistic identity. And instead of returning to our roots of identity, we went back or we went even further back, and we skipped our roots as a nation, and we just went to religion. And so We skipped from e pluribus unum to in God we trust. We need to go back because out of many comes one great nation. And that's really what this is all about. Next, we're going to get into is our next one in the civic haikus. So again, just going to pause for a second and then we'll get into it. Fall storms. Rising up we stand, trunks and limbs break fast the wind. Fall storms shore our roots. And finally, in our civic haikus for this week is one that's really key to what it means to be part of civic society and civil service, and that's integrity. So this one is integrity. Integrity. To trust is the key. Roots woven deeply we hold, underfoot shored up. That was integrity. And to me, this is one of the most important ideals of civil service and civil identity. And I'm going to keep saying civil service and public service because that's what government is. It's a service, and it's civil service where you are serving the people. The one thing you have to serve is integrity. Like if you can't be trusted, we're done. Like that's the end. Ain't nobody going past there. So if you cannot be trusted, you should not be in office. That goes for any civil servant. If you cannot be trusted by the populace, you shouldn't be in office. And if you've broken that trust and you've repeatedly broken that trust, you should be kicked out of office, i.e., our current POTUS. He has broken the trust and his integrity. He swore an oath, which he then immediately broke. He lied when he swore the oath and then broke it immediately. That's zero integrity. It doesn't matter. I don't care about Donald Trump. I don't like him because he has no integrity. Period. Full stop. So we need to bring that back. We need to restore integrity into our civil services. And that starts with cleaning house. So that ends our civic haikus for the week. We have 3 more poems for the day. The first one I'm going to go into is the one about my fibromyalgia. This one is called Drifting Through Darkness. This breaks away from the civic components and some of the civic-based poetry that I've been doing. It's a little bit longer form, and it's almost more of a story. So I hope you all enjoy it. And if those of you in the audience, I know there are some of you who suffer from chronic, hidden, debilitating diseases like fibromyalgia or similar. I know some of you have given me feedback and it's touched you before, but I hope this poem touches everyone in a good way again and gives you some courage. So this one is Drifting Through Darkness. Drifting through darkness. Sorry, I'm going to restart that one. I can't even. I don't want to get this one wrong because this one's also a little hard for me to read. So just give me a second. Okay. Drifting through darkness. Drifting through clouds, I wander. Wandering free, I float. Suddenly, lightning strikes. It ripples through, coursing, pulsing, pulling, 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 pulling at nothing. 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 Not nothing. I'm drifting. Drifting through clouds, I float. Floating on nothing. Thunderclaps, slapping me back. Flashes of light. Light, lightning, lighting me up. Up, up, upwards it curls. Curling, coursing, pulsing, pulling, pulling, pulsing, pounding. Nothing. Nothing. No, not nothing. Pulling, not pulling. Sucking, drinking, taking, 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 eating, consuming my mind. Darkness. Ah, blissful darkness. drifting through darkness, floating. I'm floating. Freely I wander, wandering. I'm wandering. Through clouds I drift, drifting. I'm drifting, blissful through darkness. Drifting through clouds, lightning strikes, striking, rippling through, floating on nothing. Thunderclaps, slapping me, pulling me back, back from the darkness, back from the dark. Flashes of light, curling upwards, curling, it pulls me, pulling me down, pulling me, pulling. And that was Drifting Through Darkness. Um, this one, as you could probably tell, I moved a little bit through while I was speaking it. It sort of brings to life some of the pain and the curling and the pulling. So what this one is it's a lot of symbolism for me. Is I feel pain starting from the palm of my foot, and it curls my index toe, and it just starts pulling. It pulls up, and it pulls through my knee and my hip. And once it gets there, it it pulls me back down. And so this is sort of my internal monologue of um, of what it feels like to go through some of my fibromyalgia symptom, and um, how it impacts me all the time. So I hope those of you who have fibro or something similar got something from this, or hopefully it didn't strike anything up in you. But that one was a little closer than some of the others have been for me. So I'm going to move on from this one before I begin to ramble too far. Thank you all for sticking with me. I appreciate it. Let me reset myself a little bit as we get into our final two poems of the day. And these last two poems are back a little bit more into our civic mindset. But there's also a thread of hope that goes through these. These two are together, and are the set of something new that I'm working on for a longer form piece. Weaving these all together. It's about the arts, and bringing out our creativity in this time and letting ourselves flourish, because it's the thing they don't want us to do. It's the unexpected thing, and it's the thing that we should all be doing. We all have creativity inside of us. It's okay if you don't think it's good. It is. It's good. Just get it out. Just let it out. Be creative. Bring the best out in humanity, because it's for the fun of it. It's not for how good it has to be or how big of an impact it makes. It's about, does it make you happy? Does it bring you joy? And does it bring joy to those in your sphere of influence? Be that sphere small or large, just make something creative and fun. Do something fun for your sphere, because it's more fun for all of us. So this one, someone asked or wrote a comment earlier about, like, I'd love to get to know more about where you came from in your history and love of music and arts and poetry, and how all this got started. So this is a little bit of that coming to life. Is I'll give a little of my history. As I went to school for music originally. Way back in the day, I studied music theory and composition at Carnegie Mellon University. I took private voice lessons. I was in the choir. I recorded the orchestra. I recorded audition pieces. I love the music. I love just getting to interact with other people. But underneath it, I always wanted to go be a broadcaster. To talk about my secret dreams, is I always wanted to be a broadcaster. I had actually applied to Syracuse University just so that I could try and broadcast for the basketball team. because at the time I loved basketball, but I was no good at it myself, but I could talk about it. Um, and so this is kind of a mix of all of that coming together in a way. Is I get to talk about things I want, I get to interview people, and I get to write music through poetry right now. And if you were here at the beginning of the recording, and if you stay through the end, you'll actually get to hear a bit of the music that I've written before and have had recorded. Um, and so if you stay for the end, you'll get a special treat with part of a string quartet that I had recorded when I was in college. Um, but getting back to the poetry of everything that we're in today, um, that was a long story long to talk about our next two poems in the next set that we're going into. So I'm going to take my quick pause and then we'll get into our first of the poems around art. Set fresh the arts. Breaking down constitutionality, deconstructing the law, nothing in place, replacing it all with brutality. Brutal is our new rule we can't embrace. Embracing hate as our national fate, fated to break as they tear it all down. Downward our state, rush through our narrow strait, straight through the pass, darkness creeps all around. Rounding the bend, we see there is an end. Ending the fear, break through, we see the clear. Clearly we send, our love is what will mend. Mending we steer, drive through this course, adhere. Adhere to hearts, make starts, set fresh the arts. Adhere to smarts, use arts, make joy our hearts. That was Set Fresh the Arts. And so this was the first of the two in the arts series so far. Um, and then Lucky Preview is. Wait, do I have another poem that I still need to read? Okay, no. So Lucky Preview, this one is actually today's poem. And for the podcast that'll be coming out a little bit later, it will be a little delayed due to the recording. Is the podcast today is also going to be a video pod with the recording from this poetry, with this reading. So we're going to read today's poem, which is Hope Still Lights the Dark, and is sort of as it sounds, is hope is the light in the dark, and we are the hope. Our creativity, our freedom of expression, that's the hope. So I hope you all enjoyed today's poem and today's podcast episode, which is Hope Still Lights the Dark. Restoring all we trust, it is a must. Muster the arts, set free creative hearts. Heartfully tall, set just, we are robust. Busting through hearts, let free in fits and starts. Starting to rise as one, our will be done. Under our weight, we force a change in fate, fated to make undone, a web respun, spun to create a new life without hate. Hateless we rise, fire lights our eyes, eyeing a world with strife, yet full of life. Living through cries, love makes us all more wise. Wisely we see new life, boundless and rife. Rightfully truth breaks, yet hope still lights the dark. Rightfully truth wakes, with hope we strike the spark. And that was Hope Still Lights the Dark, which is today's episode of the Sick of This Pod. And for those of you who tune in on the Sick of This Pod, please consider subscribing wherever you get your podcasts. We are available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're also running a Sick of This Summer sale, which has been extended for the rest of the month of August, where we're going to be 80% off our paid subscriptions for monthly and annual subscribers. It's a forever discount, so $1 a month or $11 a year. No special link for this one, so if you just go to subscribe or upgrade your subscription, it's there for everyone who does it. We're also offering, or I'm also offering, as part of a founding subscription, if anyone is interested in becoming our first founder, is as a founding subscriber for 200 a year or annually, you will get a poem commissioned for you. Something relating towards what's going on in the world, things that are happening today. And if you want, it can also come with a audio recording so that you have the audio recording of it, because it's also going to be a podcast episode. Founders will get their own special episode for their poem as well. Sorry for the cough there. So that was really all I had for today. I'm testing out a little bit of something new, as you can tell with the change in screen, how things are displayed. We've got a cool new background. Hopefully it's playing for everyone. It's just spinning on my side. Nobody said anything in the chat on Substack that we weren't going through live in any bad way. So I appreciate y'all being with me. Thank you for coming today and hanging out. And like I said, I'm going to close the show out. I'm going to transition to one final screen. Feel free to stay for the last 2 minutes. It's just going to be a couple minutes, but there's a special song. It's a piece that I composed a long time ago, to me anyways, back when I was in college. It's the first movement in a string quartet that I wrote when I was a composition major in school. And so I wanted to play that as a way to close out the show. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. Before we get to the music, let's talk about shows of the week that are coming up. So we've got some really exciting shows this week coming up too. I will put out a calendar like I have been for the last 2 weeks with, and then pin it to the home screen of the publication with all of the show lineup for this week. So everyone who's subscribed already should have gotten a little bit of a preview for it, with emails saying, oh, hey, look, there's some new shows coming out. But this week we've got shows. So starting tomorrow, we're going to have co-host Soso. She's a friend of mine who's a child developmental psychologist. She's going to be coming on and co-hosting with me while we welcome special guest Dana Dubois of Gen Xe to do a show on parenting in the rise of fascism. So if you have kids too, we're bringing on a child developmental psychologist and another parent, and we're going to be talking about things that we do during the rise of fascism that we're in now, and how we're coping as parents, but also how we're helping our kids. So if you're interested in that, please come along. We may also be trying to pull in another special guest, since now we have the ability to have more than 3 of us on a show. So be excited. There's some cool new stuff happening. So that's Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Then on Tuesday, we're continuing with Ellie Leonard. Frederick Pogue and myself are coming back with Ellie Leonard at 10 a.m. Central Time for part 2 of the Epstein saga. So the story goes on. And so we're bringing Ellie Leonard back for more. She's incredible. She's an investigative journalist. And we're super excited to have her back for a second time. And then talking about second time guests, we're bringing back Fred Wellman for a second vet talk with him. There's a lot that's been going on the news. So on Tuesday at 11:30 a.m., again, all show times will be coming out in a message later today, so you don't have to worry about remembering them. But Fred will be on with us on Tuesday to talk about a lot of the stuff that's going on with the VA and the cuts that they're making and the attacks that they're doing on other veterans, especially our trans service members, those who are still active and those who are veterans, and taking away their rights and their retirements and basically their service. So don't miss that one. It's going to be a heavy episode. There's going to be a lot. We're going to cover a lot. Fred's a great dude, and an incredible veteran and an incredible advocate. So super happy to have him back. Then on Wednesday, we've got 2 shows lined up so far. We're possibly into a third. But we have two shows lined up. Our first one is our normal Sick of This Show at 10 a.m. This one is going to be Voices of Power, where we're bringing on our special guest and friend, Fusin Aiden. She is a sex worker and is a woman of power. And is a voice of power. And we want to bring her on, co-hosted with Lawrence Winterman of Gen Xie as well. So Fusin is going to come join us and discuss her experiences and what we can learn and how we can use those tools to build our community stronger, and so that there are no voices in the dark. So we're going to lift up voices of power, and Fusin is one of them. So we're talking to her on Wednesday morning. Then Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. Central Time, we're bringing Melissa Corrigan on for a vet talk. She's a Navy vet. She's also an incredible, powerful advocate in the community. And she has a lot to say. She's one of the folks that helped get rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So if you want to know where her bona fides are, that's where she knows what she's doing. She's got a lot to say, and we're excited to have her back. We had her on last week or this past week as part of the show. And now we're bringing her on for a vet talk. And then that's going to round out pretty much the shows this week. We're taking Thursday off. I have some personal things that I'm going to be going to take care of, which are super exciting, and I'm very excited to share later once we're done. And then on Friday, join us for Wizards Council. Myself, Frederick Pogue, and Lawrence Winterman. We're going to be coming back for our Friday Wizards Council as we have some fun and discuss some of the fucked up news of the week. And then from there, we've got some really cool stuff coming in the future. There's a big thing going on Saturday. Check out this Saturday, early afternoon, mid-afternoon, we're going to be starting. Frederick Pogue, Lawrence Winterman, and I are going to be doing something incredibly special. We're going to be launching something new together. And we're going to be making an advocate call, and we're going to be calling out those in power, and we're going to be doing it for 24 hours or more. So we'd love for all of you to join us. We're going to be bringing some really cool people on to the show. It's not going to be through Sick of This with Nick. So it's going to be a new publication, but look out for it. I'll be promoting it all week. We're going to be busting out some new banners, and we're going to be building some backbone back into America. And so I'm really excited. This week's got some really cool stuff coming. I hope everyone has a great rest of their Sunday. I'm going to let you all go now. Stay tuned for the closing music as we give ourselves the last couple minutes. It's 2 minutes long. Just sit and enjoy and let yourself have a little bit of hope as we go into this Sunday and into the new week. And let's restore some light with the arts. Let's go be creative, friends. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoy.